And we're live here on YouTube. Like to welcome those listening in podcast land, and also like to welcome, well, you. As you notice, I am by myself. I'm flying solo today. Rich is enjoying a much-deserved vacation as, him and his wife had their 14th anniversary. And so we're here for it. So congratulations, guys, on 14 years. Man, I feel like I'm so far behind, yet sometimes I look at it and I'm like, I'm not that far behind. But totally am. 14 years is a long time, and I congratulate you guys. 14 years ago, I saw one of my best friends in the whole wide world gain a life partner, and it was a magical moment. It's been amazing watching them and learning from them as a married couple when I was single, and as a married couple now that then I got a girlfriend that was worthy enough to hang out with them, and then when I got engaged and got married myself, I've looked up to them and their love for each other and their willingness to die themselves daily just to bless the other one. So they've been a real blessing in my life, and so Rich and Mr. Rich, or Mrs. Rich, Mr. Rich, and your wife, Mrs. Rich, as we will call her. Congratulations on 14 beautiful years. And we know that God has blessed us, and we continue to pray with each other through life. And man, thank you for letting me be a part of you guys' lives for so long. So with that being said, it is time to start the show. I'm going to be talking by myself today. We're going to talk lots of football. We have tons of games to talk about. Plus, we have NBA and NCAA stuff, I guess, kind of, to talk about. We got some quick hits. I'm going to inform you, tons of stuff has happened this week with the Cubs. Tons of stuff. I have so many opinions, and I would love to share them with you, but the problem is, I know Rich is going to have a lot to say about it too. So we're going to wait, and next week we're going to talk about it. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and roll that intro. Broadcasting live from somewhere in Iowa, this is Balls and Sticks, the podcast, with your hosts, Mike and Rich. And I'm back. Okay, this week we had a poll question. We are on our movie quote, our breakfast buffet of a podcast, or of a poll question. This week was biscuits and gravy versus omelets. Yeah, it wasn't even close, people. This was 16 votes. 16 votes. Only one person in the whole of everything voted for omelets. Tyler Allen, here's to you. Let's get into the votes for biscuits and gravy. That's me, Mikey Hart. Andrew Goforth. Solo Stroop, Solomon Stroop. Pam Hendricks. John Russell. Michelle Phillips. Alex Cruz. Ron Lehmans. Josh Hendricks. Gail Welchman, Jason Flanker, Craig Johnson, David Hovinga, Rich Hendricks, and Nathan Ross. Yeah, Biscuits and Gravy is moving on and will be facing, if I remember correctly, the winner of Captain Crunch, regular Captain Crunch, versus Captain Crunch with Crunch Berries. If you weren't here last week, regular Captain Crunch beat, I believe it was Life Cereal. I'm not sure, but it was shocking and yeah. So with that, Rich should have that poll going live sometime either today or tomorrow or sometime. He'll get it up there. When he does, vote for it. Look for it to be shared on our pages, facebook.com/fans of balls and sticks, facebook.com/balls and sticks, any of the above. Go find it there. You can vote for it. With that, let's head into to talk about the week past of week 15, as we're already in week 16. Week 15, we saw the Bears versus Vikings. Both Rich and I took the Vikings. Vikings won 30-12. Rich and I are both 9-5 with a record, and the Bears have a record of 4-10. Last week's lock of the week, I picked the Chiefs over the Browns. The Chiefs dominated. I am currently 15-0 on the year. Rich picked the Falcons over the Raiders. Rich is 15 no, he can't be 15-9. Or the Falcons won 15-9. Wow. Rich is 9-6 on the year, which is amazing because at one point he was like 0-4 or 0-5, and then has had a dominating winning streak ever since. Been doing great. Upset special of the week. I picked the Steelers over the Eagles. The Eagles won 27-13. I am at 5-10 on upsets of the week. Rich picked the Panthers over the Cowboys. The Cowboys won, dropping him down to 4-11. For Thursday Night Football, it was the Chargers versus the Broncos. Chargers won 34-27. I picked the Broncos. They lost. I dropped down to 11-9. Rich picked the Chargers. They won, pulling Rich up to 13-7. At week 16, what are we going to see? So let's talk about the Bears game. The Vikings just outmatched them. Let's be honest. The Vikings were the better team. The Bears actually did not look good. In all honesty, I don't know. Like, I expected more out of them. I was hoping for more out of them. I'm shocked that they weren't better. It's hard. Interim coaches are kind of, and so a couple of things. Thomas, we're going to talk about it next week. Thomas Brown, the guy got double promoted in like 3 or 4 weeks. That's a hard thing to do. I think he probably has the ability to be a head coach, but he was thrown into a dumpster fire that nobody's really happy with. We talked about it last week. The Bears have been on this roller coaster ride where the GM hired a quarterback and brought in a head coach. They worked on that one together, but then the head coach gets fired, and they bring in another head coach that doesn't have the quarterback he wants, and so 2 years late, and then under a GM, questionable whether or not he wants them. Anyway, they do this rotation where they fire one of the three or release or whatever they do. for since Lovie Smith left. By the way, Lovie Smith left on a winning contract, or as the winningest head coach in Bears history, as just a solid all-around guy. Didn't deserve to go out the way he did. Then even Matt Nagy had a winning, yeah. It's the Bears. It's what they're doing right now. Hopefully they get off this merry-go-round, and next year, wherever they get in, the quarterback, whoever they get in won't be tied to the quarterback. But I don't know. It looked, and this is going to be terrible. There were a couple times, and God forbid that this is true, but there were a couple times that it looks like they have already broken. And I'll ask Rich next week. He watches / listens to the show. But next week he's gonna, when he's on, I'm gonna talk to him. And truth be told, I think he'll agree. Last week it looked like Caleb Williams is broken. And this is something we see with Bears quarterbacks regularly. Their line sucks. They tried to improve it. They tried. But regularly, but that doesn't mean that they're it's gonna fix overnight. Their head coach didn't care to work with them. Their offensive coordinators sucked. The new one, Thomas Brown didn't get enough time to set up as an offensive coordinator before. Now he's in charge of the whole team. Caleb Williams has been sacked more times than any other quarterback in the league this year. His passing numbers, his accuracy, his lack of picks, all historic for a rookie quarterback. But he has other numbers like sacks. The amount of sacks he's had is near historic. It's not favorable. And we're looking at a year that the Messiah of the Bears, a generational quarterback, is coming in and has a worse record than the team did last year. We all know that it wasn't Justin Fields. We've proven that. We all know that it's not Caleb Williams' fault. These guys are both great quarterbacks, deserve way better than what they got, and yet here we are sitting at 4-10 on the year. We face the Lions, the Seahawks, and the Packers over the next 3 weeks. And I really don't know if they're going to win any of them. This is terrible. Now, hopefully, I think we'll be in the top 10 for draft picks. Carolina is terrible, so we get their second round pick. I don't know. What I do know is there's hope. I don't know. I think at this point the front office needs to sit down and say, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get a quarterback, or we're going to get a offensive-minded head coach. By the way, should have gotten the guy that wanted to come back last year. Didn't get him. I'm going to try to leave that one alone. But then we just need to do something. We need to, whatever coach comes in, we need to say, hey, this guy here, you didn't draft him, but he's your guy. Win it, lose, or draw, he's your guy. Help us build him back up. Help us turn this team around. We're going to pick up the 5th-year option today. We're just going to do it. Sorry. You're going to get 4 years. We'll pick up the 5th-year option. We'll go 4 years. If it looks like we're on the right track, we'll extend it, and we'll extend you. You guys are on the same path right now. Don't fire Caleb Williams. Don't fire this head coach until the 4-year contracts are up. By the way, that's what you do. 4-year contracts. Both Caleb Williams do the extension today. You destroyed his first year. I'm sorry, you're done. But you need that 5th year on a reasonable contract for which you can get him. You can still do stuff. You need to get that first contract done. Then you move forward and you say, hey, we are going to take and we're going to put we're gonna put our head coach on that same plan, and it's guaranteed. And we're gonna be steadfast, and it might not look good next year. We might be 4-13 next year. It's okay. We're looking for 2 years out where we're going to be 10-7. And then we're going to be 15-2. That's that's where we need to be now, because in 4 years we'll know. And in 4 years, if this is our head coach and our quarterback situation, then we extend them both out. Give them that contract for as long as either one of them wants. Lock them in, get them, pay them, and let's go. Let's roll. And yeah, you might have years you won't be great, but what have we seen? When you have a steady head coach, period, steady head coach, and you have stability in your path, the culture changes, and it looks like, and regularly, you can breed wins. And you might not be a top 5 team, but you're never going to be a bottom 5 team. And I think the Bears fans would be fine with that. Once in a while, you might like to see once every 5-10 years, you're going to be in the national championship. Once every 10-15 years, if you do the slow and steady and consistent pace, you're going to be in the Super Bowl. And the more you do that, the better you get, the more guys want to play with you. And the more guys want to play with you, the longer you survive. This, my friends, is what the Bears need to do. Okay, let's move on to Week 16. Week 16, the Bears play the Lions in a game tomorrow morning. The Lions have some injuries that are stacked up. It's true, but they're still gonna beat the Bears. Come on now, Rich's statement. I'm gonna give you Rich's pick, and then read his statement. I just read his statement for you, but I'll read. Rich picks the Lions, word for word. Injuries are starting to pile up for the Lions, but that won't stop them from beating the Bears. 100% correct, Rich. I picked the Lions as well. Locks of the week. Rich picks the Bills over the Patriots. The Patriots have been struggling all year, and Josh Allen and the Bills are hot. I added the extra 2 hots, but yes. As I looked at it this week, that actually would have been my pick if Rich hadn't taken it, but Rich took it. So I 100% agree. I almost would say just stack that one up as a win already. Good for you. The Cardinals, I'm picking the Cardinals over the Panthers. Panthers are a terrible team, and the Cardinals, not a ton better, but better enough that I feel confident with that pick. Upset special of the week, Rich picks the Titans over the Colts. Anything can happen in a divisional game, and I agree. And I think those two teams are fairly evenly matched, personally. But I'm also holding true to the anything can happen in a divisional match when I pick the Commanders over the Eagles. Yeah, that's right. You might think that's crazy, but the Commanders actually, I meant to pull it up earlier. In the playoff picture, and this is, I'm glad it comes up so quick nowadays. In the playoff picture, the Eagles are the number 2 team. They need to win in order to keep up with the Bears or the Lions, who will win. But in that, when you go down to in the hunt, like there is the in the hunt for this week, you have the Bucks, the Rams, the Packers, and the Commanders. So, the NFC South and the NFC West aren't decided, but the Commanders need to win in order to make it into the, like, if they win, they are a 94% chance to make the playoffs. For them, it is imperable. It is of paramount that they win. If so the Commanders need to win, and yeah, just in general, that's just what has to happen. They are hungry, and a hungry team don't mess with a hungry dog; they'll bite you. And I think that's where we're at right now. Yeah. So. Yeah. So I think that's where they're at. They're not going to win the East. They won't. But I think if they win, they have a decent chance. They have a 96% or 94% chance to make the playoffs if they win. So I'm solidly in the bank that I think they can pull it off. Where are we at? Oh, Christmas Day. Yeah, we got to pick Christmas Day games. Chiefs, Steelers. Rich picks the Chiefs and says, I don't want to pick the Steelers, but I may change the pick on the app depending on Mahomes' injury status. Yeah, Mahomes had an injury last week. I think he was fine today. He played. I think he did fine. He ran around and was running on that ankle, no problem. So I'm not real worried about it, but I can understand his statement. I'm picking the Chiefs without any qualms. I don't think I would change it. Yeah. So Christmas game number 2 is the Ravens and the Texans. This is a must-win for the Ravens. Rich picks the Ravens. This is a must-win for the Ravens. If they win their Week 16 game against the Steelers, a win could help them secure the playoff, the division. If they lose to the Steelers, they will need this win to at least ensure a wild card or keep pace with the Steelers if they lose to the Chiefs earlier in the day. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, that's a great statement, except the Texans are a better team. They did have some injuries today. Man, speaking of which, that was a rough, yeah, we won't talk about that. Anyway, so the Chiefs, I think the Texans are the better team here, and I can't do anything but pick them. So, yeah. Then you got the Seahawks versus the Bears on Thursday night. Rich picks the Seahawks. He thinks this could be Thomas Brown's best chance to get a victory. But Seattle has too much on the line to drop this game. Plus, a top 10 pick would make our coaching vacancy more desirable. Totally agree. I totally agree. But I think this is Thomas Brown's best chance to win, and so I am picking the Bears. I think he actually does have a very decent shot of winning this game. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at on that. And, I think I don't know, maybe do I do them? Yeah, I'll do them real quick. Okay. I'm going to do my... So, we're going to do power rankings real quick. Okay. Yeah, my power rankings haven't changed much. Rich is... I mean, the top 5 have all changed, or top 4 have all changed, but mostly because we both put the Buffalo Bills at number 1. We both... I mean, our top 5 is exactly the same. Like, carbon copy, not because I copied him, but because this is the way that it looks to me, and this is the way that it looks to Rich. The Bills beating the Lions like they did, amazing. So yeah, I think it's the Bills, Lions, Chiefs, Eagles, Vikings. This is where Rich and I deviate a little bit. I have the Packers, or he has the Packers at 6. I have the Steelers at 6. I have the Packers at 7. He has the Packers at, or I have the Packers at 7. He has the Steelers at 7. At 8, we both have Baltimore. At 9, at 9 I have the Washington. At 9 I have the Washington football team, and at 10 I have the Broncos. Like, legit, that's pretty much word for word one another. Like, we are, our 6 and 7s are swapped. That's it. I mean, I don't think there's much to talk about. Those teams at the top 10 are amazing and deserve to be where they're at. The bottom 5, we differ a little bit. Let me do this again. Um, 28 is the Jets for me. 28 for Rich is the Panthers. 29 is the Panthers for me. 29 for Rich is the Jaguars. 30 for me is the Browns. 30 for Rich is the Browns. 32 or 31 for Rich is the Raiders. For me, it's the Giants, and 32 is flip-flop for both of us, so he has the Giants at 32, and I have the Raiders at 32. It's honestly, I don't think much surprise that we both have, like, that our bottoms and tops are the same. The teams look like garbage that are garbage, and the teams that are at the top are the teams at the top. The Bears are quickly dropping down. I forgot, I just closed it out, so I'm not going to pull it back up. But the Bears are quickly becoming a team that is going to be in the bottom 10 at least, if not lower. So that's a harsh reality to be at. With that, let's talk NBA Cup. So in the NBA Cup, like we said last week, Rich's team was eliminated. Here's how it turned out. In the quarterfinals, the Bucks beat the Magic 114 to 109. The Knicks lost to the Hawks 108 to 100. In the West, it was the Thunder beating out the Mavericks 118 to 104. And the Rockets edging out the Warriors 91 to 90. In the semifinals, in the West, the Thunder beat out the Rockets 111 to 96. And in the semifinals, the Bucks beat the Hawks 110 to 102. In the championships, the Bucks won 97 to 81. I picked the Bucks. Rich picked. Did Rich pick it? Was it the Hawks? Rich picked the Knicks, who lost in the quarterfinals to the Hawks. Okay. I don't like the NBA Cup. I think it's pointless. If you're going to do it, why not have your championship game as a primetime game on Christmas? Also, Christmas used to be the day that was ruled by the NBA, and it looks like this year NFL's trying to take it over. They're going to be on Netflix, so that could be a little interesting after the boxing matches. But I don't know. Like, NBA used to be own Christmas Day. Now it doesn't seem. To me it doesn't seem right. So, let's also talk the college football, where we're at with that right now. So Rich picked Texas. I picked Georgia. Georgia is the number 2 seed. They will face Notre Dame. Notre Dame won their match yesterday, I believe it was, or maybe today. And Penn State won against SMU. And Texas is playing Ohio State. Man, Rich, that's a rough one. And then they have to play Oregon, which is going to be even tougher. I'm sorry, that's Tennessee. Texas played Clemson and won 38 to 24. And is that game going on right now? It looks like that game is going. The Tennessee Ohio State game is going on right now. So next up for Texas will be Arizona State in the Peach Bowl. You'll have Boise and Penn State in the Fiesta Bowl on the 31st. Arizona State and Texas in the Peach Bowl. Oregon and the winner of Ohio State, Tennessee in the Rose Bowl. You'll have Georgia versus Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl. And then we'll have the semifinals on the 9th. And the 9th and 10th. And the national champion will. They don't even have a date on this. Weird. Whatever. We'll figure it out. Yeah, I don't like that this drags this out. Yeah, it's January 20th. So they're going to compete. Oh, no, they don't compete, but it's the Monday after the divisional round of the NFL. I'm sorry, this is too long. Like I said, that they needed to expand the playoffs and they need to do it differently. But now it's going mid-January. They need to move up at least 1 week sooner. They need to be done maybe wild card weekend. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, do it the Monday or do it the Tuesday. Give us Tuesday night football and do it wild card weekend. Yeah, I don't think this makes sense, but what do I know? They're making more money than they know what to do with. I understand why they're doing it this way, but I think they went way too far on it, and I don't like it. So, yeah, I'm not gonna do hockey talk this week. We're gonna do a little bit shorter of a show. I'm gonna skip most. I'm gonna skip the most of the news in the quick hits portion. I will talk about Bill Belichick, his new coach of North Carolina. I think what probably happened is no team in the NFL was wanting to talk to him. Like, to me, that's the only reason nobody was going to hire him. And so, because nobody was willing to give him the GM and, yeah. So I think the only reason I think that's why Bill Belichick went to college. That's the only thing that makes sense. Also, he was allowed to set his son up as the next head coach and kind of get that succession plan in place. Yeah, the Cubs did a lot this week. We'll talk about that next week. Giant news with a Cubs legend. We'll talk about again. We will talk about it next week. Such amazing stuff. Esports. So we're gonna talk. We're not gonna do Masked Singer this week. Yes, the finale happened this week. Yes, I believe we both watched it. No, I'm not gonna give spoilers for it. You guys don't need to hear it. I'm not gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it next week. And yeah. Anyway, but this week I will do esports. With esports comes an update. So we won our first two matches so far. The second one was a lot closer. I had the guys try some new stuff, and it didn't go bad, but we didn't let them score a single point, but we didn't, pop off like I hoped we would. So it's fine. We're 2-0 on the season, doing great. Next week, or we're off for a couple weeks, so we won't talk about esports for a couple weeks. We'll come back. We'll fill you in. With that, let's do. We have shout outs. So, like I said at the beginning of the show, I tried to wax a little poetic about some of my best friends in the world, Rich and his wife. They are amazing people, and I can't speak highly enough about them. They are amazing friends, have been prayer warriors in my life for years, and have been amazing to my wife, been through things with us. I can't speak enough for them. Had their 14th wedding anniversary this week, and it was amazing. But I also have Pastor David Hovinga, who's been on the show and is also, a friend of the show. He had his birthday this week. He's a couple years older than me. I think he's about the same age as... No, he's a year older than Rich. So, but yeah, had a birthday this week. Happy birthday, David. We will see you in the morning. Maybe I'll talk to Danielle. Maybe we'll take you out to lunch. Who knows? With that, I got nothing on the Facebook or on the YouTube. If you want to follow the show and listen and join us live, subscribe hit the subscription and the bell. You'll know when we go live. You can join us every week. We try to do it Friday or Saturday. Sometimes it's we don't do a Sunday show. We rarely ever do a Sunday show. We might do a Thursday show. We've done a Tuesday or Wednesday show, but whatever. We'll get you on. Come join us. We love having you here. If you watch some of our back ones, not many on YouTube. Ones that we've uploaded to YouTube, not any of the lives on YouTube, but if you go back, you can see if you go to our Facebook or if you look at our back catalog, you can actually see we have times where people have jumped on and chatted with us in the chat, and we have a conversation. We want you guys to be a part of this. I'm going to try to start posting these weekly, and then we're going to try to get back into a more uniform time. So probably Saturdays at 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning every week, so you guys know when to look and you know what to expect. And we'll post it We'll post it on Facebook when we go live, and then we'll post it also here. If you follow us on Facebook, great. If you don't, check us out at facebook.com/ballsandsticks or facebook.com/fans of Balls and Sticks. You can also request friendships with Rich and I. Most of you that listen or kind of listen are people that we know anyway, so whatever, you're probably friends with us. If you want to participate in the poll question, check us out. Any of those places. Rich shares it. I share it. The facebook.com/ballsandsticks and facebook.com/fans of Balls and Sticks. Check it out. We will. You get a shout out every week for voting on it, so do that. And we're up to date on YouTube. I will get this one uploaded momentarily, and it'll go public, and you can do that. So with all that, let's go ahead and roll that outro. Broadcasting live from somewhere in Iowa, this is Balls and Sticks, the podcast, with your hosts, Mike and Rich.